that you can barely stand on your legs, and your force is abandoning you, and you feel more than sleepy. You feel like the tiredness of eons has fallen upon your shoulders, as this mighty but foolish child of a demon thinks he is maybe certainly powerful, maybe ancient, we don't know. But this ancientness is something older than the time itself, and it's all upon your shoulders with its weight, and it crushes you.
Excuse
And I
me,
get to
but
roll a die.
yes, that's perfectly understandable. Fortunately, I have a source of power here which has nothing to do with me. I am going to use that power, and I am going to splat every last atom of this being against every surface of this chamber, so that
Yes.
it is distributed perfectly entropically evenly against all of everything, so that it is completely dispersed. There is a nasty wet splat sound when I do this, as it is shattered and ruined
Yes.
and destroyed, and the heart is mine.
And the heart itself, of course, it is the only object that still floats in the air after this phantasmagoria of ichor, shadow, color, sound, and even other senses that you didn't even realize you had. Like there is some bad intuition splattered on the wall, which doesn't make sense as words, but that's how you would describe it. What is floating in the air at the center of the whole is one and every single platonic solid all at once, and it's made, of course, of gold.
And that's the heart.
Yes.
Excellent. And so I shall walk forward back to the destroyed landscape, and the orb, of course, I guess, right? The round sphere of gold. Yes.
It's not a sphere. It is at once every single platonic solid that you can imagine.
Okay, perfect.
So
but it floats along with me, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Sorry.
it floats along with me. Is that your image?
As you as you put your hand under it, it is as if you were holding it, but it's floating on.
Perfect. So I shall leave with it under my power, and I shall casually speak to it as I go, which is, "You hate me, don't you?" And I'll look forward and smile a little bit and say, "It's as good a desire as any."
Wow. So since you had won the previous match, just to understand the rules, and you had slayed the creature, I didn't get any dice from my attack, because
we don't do dice. After we compare the numbers, there are no more dice.
Okay, there are no more.
The dice have done their job.
So from now on, it's just lose goals, right?
What from now on?
Or
after we compare the numbers?
Yes.
We can play as we want, except that we have to follow the rules of what was determined by the dice.
Yes. So, okay.
So the fate of the lover is up to you, depending on how much risk you felt they were in. Because I have chosen to go with my initial impression, and I have abandoned this lover to her fate.
Mm-hmm. So basically what we are going to go towards now is an epilogue.
No, we don't even need to do that if we don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
The only concern now, I mean, if you really want to, I suppose we can, but I am finished.
No, just
Yeah.
yeah,
And
me too.
also the important point is to change, to apply the experience points,
Yes.
which I shall do.
So so please guide me in this because I'm not yet
Sure.
very.
This is okay. This is in the last section. And if I kill or permanently imprison a monster, then I get prestige and capabilities. And yes, that is quite clear. I am going to gain the capabilities of the of the powers before time.
Mhm.
That this monster that I have gains the reputation as um, the I was going to say the master or the no, I can gaze into the powers before time.
Mhm.
That's my new capabilities, and I have prestige of this. I am known for this.
Yes.
Um, and then furthermore, I gain social power because I achieved my goal. Armed with the power of this heart, I am now ruler over a strange community that drifts through the land. And so
Drawn to you like moths to a flame,
I
the
think
Dragon
so.
Slayer.
Yeah, exactly. And so therefore, I have a place to sit and think about the forces before time. Um,
Mhm.
and so I am harmed by the monster, so I am badly scarred or irreversibly marked. My perfect, beautiful skin is now full of these craters and holes, and perhaps it is a slowly increasing effect. It's not going to stop, just as the woman had warned me, and
Mhm.
so um, that's the effect. I'm going to keep my 10-word description,
Mhm.
except that now, of course, I might add the scars, the dissolving scars, as part of it. I guess that's part of the brief sentence that I add,
Mhm.
and that I do not have a lover with me, and this monster is not going to trouble me again.
Not ever.
So right. So that
If time
is
makes any sense.
yes. So that is going to be uh, my alteration to my material.
Okay. All right. Great. It's difficult to be in the eye.
Not so much. You just have to get rid of certain habits, and you're fine.
Yeah, that's the difficulty.
Right. The big
Yes.
thing is that you are not in control of where I get to, and you
Yeah.
are not in control of whether I see the goal, whether I can find the goal, or what I have to do in order to get the goal. All of that kind of video game construction is my problem, not yours.
As I read Sickle of Hands, I was thinking to myself how cool it is to need to be able to be surprised,
Mm-hmm.
but the actual experience can be somewhat um, difficult in the meaning that it's completely different from
Right.
what
It's very different. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
usually do in most role-playing games,
Mm-hmm.
and that I know of, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Not speaking about Fate this time. I'm not that
I will.
much
I'll
of a
stop picking.
fan of Fate.
I know, and I will stop picking on it. But we can discuss that. So you see my points, and I am not just being
Yes,
abusive someday. Um,
yes.
there are some
No, I
interesting
want to know
discussion.
your point. Actually, I do
Okay.
care about it very much because I want to. Uh, uh, I always want to review my opinions on games, etc. Except if it is Pathfinder, I will not review my opinion on that. It's garbage, and it
Well,
remains
that's
garbage.
interesting. We can. There's lots of room to talk about all of these things. For the fate issue, I am interested in the surprise factor of play. not necessarily surprise in terms of a challenge. Yo, I can do this, and now what are you going to do? Well, I
Mhm.
can say this, so now what are you going to do? Sort of a competitive power struggle,
Yes.
right? That's not
Yes.
really what I'm talking about. I am talking
Mm.
about being happy that what has happened makes sense given what has happened already, even if I am disappointed or frustrated or sorry for my character,
Mm.
right?
Yes.
So even if it's not what part of me the audience wanted, still you know what it's like when you are the audience in a good movie or something, when something happens which is exactly what you didn't want to have happen,
Oh, I
but
know
it
what you
makes a
mean.
very
I
great
just
deal of sense and it's satisfying to you, as if you were a co-author. You were like, yeah, that works, right? Now I can't wait to see what happens, but part of you is saying that's horrible, I really wish that never happened,
I just finished
right?
watching season 3 of Castlevania by Warren
Ah, I
Ellis.
see.
So,
Okay.
and
So
if you haven't, you must see
right, it
it.
has been recommended to me and I will watch it. I brought up that particular phenomenon of a kind of productive surprise, a satisfying surprise that has many mixed emotions, potentially, right?
Mm.
So in fact, the triumph, the thing that is exciting for Nick and satisfying for you to happen, sometimes is itself very sweet because you know that it might not have happened, right?
Hmm.
So it in many ways stories like fiction are very dishonest, because when we see the hero succeed in that moment of physical or emotional triumph, we are only excited because we felt like it could not happen, or we
Mm.
felt that it might not happen. But of course, it's bullshit. The story was written long ago, filmed long ago, is absolutely static, and is being delivered to us with that content already in place before we ever watched it. So why do
Hmm.
we feel that way? That's ridiculous.
Because we are experiencing it right there and then, and to us there is only the now.
And only take and take it one step further. When whoever created it,
Mhm.
that moment they did have a choice.
Yes.
Okay? That's a very exciting thing to capture as a creative act. Usually only the creator gets to do that privately.
I like that.
But in role playing, we actually do it.
Yeah.
Okay? It's not like being an audience member for any other kind of media. So this is very special. If the
I
role
mean,
playing is often treated as just a form of fan appreciation of other media,
very true.
and that's not what I do. It's its own medium for me. We do what we do with it. We don't have to celebrate other media with it.